conclusive evidence that no knowledge can compare to the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So we will discuss this very, very pure and classic essence of the Vedic wisdom, which is Bhagavad Gita. First, we will have the invocation, Manglacharan, and then we will discuss. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pad Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Leena Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Hare Krishna. So in this chapter of the Transcendental Knowledge, we have discussed first 11 verses, and in the last verse we saw Krishna gave a universal principle. What is the principle that Krishna gave? Ye yathamam prapadyante. As one approaches me with the attitude and desire in his heart, I reciprocate with him accordingly. That is why one name of Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhana. He is able to see what is inside our heart. How and why? Because he is seated inside our heart. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hide Deshe Arjuna Ishtati. So as we approach him, so we cannot cheat him or we cannot bluff him. Whatever is inside is known to him. And whatever is the inside intent or the consciousness of an aspirant, as he approaches Krishna, Krishna accordingly reciprocates. And Krishna said that everyone follows my path in all respect. So we will see how everyone follows the path of Krishna in all respect. If everyone would be following the path of Krishna in all respect, then we will have complete peace and serenity. Are people following Krishna's path? No. So where is the deviation? Where is the distraction? What makes them become disoriented? Why is it that the path which is given by Krishna, and Krishna is assuring them all success, they get distracted? What is the reason for that? That Krishna speaks in the next verse. That is the 12th verse. We'll recite the 12th verse. Those who have come for the first time, please show them the verse number. Shivansh, you have Bhagavad Gita with you? 4th chapter, 12th verse. You can open. Kāṅṣitam karmana siddhi yajante iha devata shibram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. So what is the reason of distraction, deviation, degradation? Kāṅṣitaha. Kāṅṣita. Kāṅṣita means desiring. Desiring to the extent that they don't deserve. And what are they desiring? Karmana siddhi. They are desiring the perfection of their action. What is the perfection according to them? Is to fulfill their desire. Why people in this world, they perform action or activities? What is the purpose? To fulfill their desires. If once, many years back, there was a survey done in UK, then why do people go for jobs? Any idea? What was the reason? To pay their bills. Otherwise, they will not go. They will not work. So, Kāṅṣitam karmana siddhi. And what they do? They get distracted from the path of Krishna. And what they start to do? Yajante iha devata. They start worshipping the demigods. They give up the worship of the Supreme Lord and they resort to the worship of demigods. Why? What is the advantage that they are thinking? Shipram hi manushe loke siddhi bhavati karmacha. Because the demigods, they are very easily satisfied and they very easily grant material success. Siddhi bhavati karmacha. Let us look at the translation. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities. Fruitive activity means that one performs action to enjoy the result or the reward. And therefore they worship the demigods. The demigod worshippers are whom? Those who are having Kāṅṣitam karmana siddhi. They want to enjoy this world and they want to enjoy the material resources. So quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. So we will try to discuss this. That what is the difference between demigod worship and worship of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Prabhupada starts with the purport. He says there is a great misconception about the gods or demigods in this material world. Most of the people, they think they are on the same platform. To give you a practical example, like someone thinks minister and prime minister, they are the same. Are they same? No. There is only one prime minister. And the prime minister elects or appoints many ministers. He appoints the cabinet minister, he appoints the state minister, he appoints the minister with independent ranks and portfolios. And the prime minister, whenever he wants, he can change them, he can discontinue them, or he can appoint new ones. So a person who is in ignorance, once many years back, one devotee was sharing that in a village, if you go to the village people are very simple-hearted. So there was a lady in the village. She went to the police station, and there was the constable in the police station. Her son was arrested due to some charge. She went and she caught the feet of the constable and she said that, my dear sir, you are the captain of police. You are the captain of police. So you have all powers and you can exercise your power and you can release my sin. So just by her addressing that you are the captain of police, is the constable become captain? No. She is in ignorance. So Prabhupada is indicating here there is a great misconception about gods or demigods of the material world. And men of less intelligence, although passing as great scholars, take these demigods to be various forms of Supreme Lord. We all say that in Sanatan Dharma or in Hindu Dharma, there are so many gods. No. God is only one. But there are several of his appointed deputies. Like the Prime Minister is only one. How many ministers Indian government would be having? Independent ministers, state ministers, cabinet minister. How many? More than 100. More than 100. So, so many ministers, none of them or all of them together, can they equate to the Prime Minister? If they cannot equate in this material world, what to speak of the spiritual world? So this is an example of ignorance, not having the complete knowledge. So even those who are great scholars take these demigods to be the various forms of the Supreme Lord. Actually, the demigods are not different forms of God, but they are God's different parts and parcels. This is very unique. The demigods are said to be the parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. You know what is part and what is parcel? Like our hand. What is our hand? It is part and parcel of our body, isn't it? If I say hand, so do I say I hand? What do I say? My hand. That means me and my hand are different. But is it different? It is combining the body. So if I say that the hand is me, then it is ignorance. So it is part and parcel. Part means it is separate. And parcel means that its purpose is to be with the whole. Another example I'll give you. Like you see, I am using this machine, this laptop. It has a keyboard. It has a keyboard. And the keyboard is integrated in this machine. So what is it? It is a part. If this part is damaged, can I get a keyboard replaced? Yes. Isn't it? I can detach this keyboard and put a new keyboard. But this machine, can it work without that part? No. So you're getting that which has relevance. So what is the relevance of the keyboard? Outside this machine, is there any relevance of the keyboard? It is useless. So that value which brings to this part is because it is attached to this machine. So it can work, it can function. So similarly, all the demigods, what are they? They are all the administrative servants of the Supreme Lord. Like taking the example of the Prime Minister and the ministers. What are the ministers doing? What is their purpose? To assist the Prime Minister in governing the country, isn't it? If someone performs well, he is promoted. If he does not do his job well, he is kicked out. So similarly, the demigods, so we should not, equate the demigods with the Supreme God. So Kṛṣṇa is speaking here clearly that why people are doing that. What is the purpose of this inequality? Is because they want immediate gains. They want immediate results. And the demigods, they will give immediate results. The Vedas say, Nityo Nityanam, God is one, Ishvara Paramaha Kṛṣṇa. The Supreme God is one, Kṛṣṇa, and the demigods are delegated with powers to manage this material world. So there are various demigods. The chief of the demigods is Brahma. What is the administrative function that Brahma has? Creation. He has the power for creative administration. He is the one who creates this universes. And there are other powerful demigods like Surya, Chandra, Indra. So they have all their respective functions. So all demigods, they have been designated various positions and powers for a particular function, that administrative function. These demigods are all living entities. Nityam, Nityanam, and different grades of material powers. They cannot be equal to the Supreme God, Narayan, Vishnu, or Kṛṣṇa. Anyone who thinks that God and the demigods are on the same level is called an atheist or Pashandi. So this is very unique. If somebody tells in front of Prime Minister that you and the State Minister are the same, so will the Prime Minister appreciate him? No. But the scripture says that if someone considers that, then he is disregarding the Supreme Lord. And he will become an atheist. Atheist means that he will not be able to develop faith in the Supreme Lord. Why this human generation is struggling? Because our faith has become fragile. So here it is being said that anyone who thinks that God and the demigods are on the same level is called an atheist or Pashandi. Even the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord. So no one can be compared because Prime Minister is only one. Can any minister be compared to the Prime Minister? No. His powers are overwhelming. And let me see a comparative study. Why it is being said that the demigods, they are bestower of quick results. That is why people are more inclined to go there. In Kali Yuga, we see people worship many avatars in those who are actually humans. And they consider them to be God. Is it happening or not? So many Babas. Are they Supreme God? No. They are not Supreme God. But while they are being worshipping, the purpose of worship is to receive benediction. Sukh sampati ghare aave, kashta mite tanka. This is the purpose. If you can give me sukh and sampati, I will worship you. When there was Second World War, at that time, our founder Acharya was there in Calcutta. So he said there was one Bengali businessman and he had a big portrait of Hitler in his premises, and every day he was worshipping Hitler. Why? Because till the time Hitler lives, World War will continue. Until the time World War continues, the prices of essential commodities will be very high. Until the time the prices are high, he can make very big profits. Got it? So people are prone to worship anyone and everyone, provided that person is in a position to fulfill their desires. So this is the situation. So here Prabhupada is saying, and if you see all the boons which are received by the demigods, they are temporary. Why people do not go to the Supreme Lord? Because the Supreme Lord is like the Supreme Father. Like this child is there. How many years? 7 or 8 years? 7 years. If he has 100 rupee note in his hand and he goes to the neighborhood shopkeeper and he gives that 100 rupees and tells the shopkeeper please give me a pack of cigarette. God forbid, he will not do that. What will the shopkeeper do? He will give. You try. Shopkeeper will give. Shopkeeper will give or not? If he goes to the shop, he asks for chocolate, he asks for cold drink, or even he asks for cigarette. The kids are very smart. Even if the shopkeeper asks, he says, "It is for my father." So what the shopkeeper will do? He is interested in his amount. As long as the child is delivering the amount, they will receive it and he will hand over the cigarette packet. But if the same thing he does with his father, he sees that his father has a cigarette pack and he gives 100 rupees to his father and says, "Please give me that cigarette pack." What will he receive? Slap on his face, and that 100 rupee will also be taken. Why? Because the father is not interested in fulfilling his childish desire. His desire that will hurt him, that will damage him. The father is more interested to give him what will benefit him. So the demigods worshippers, whatever material boons that they receive from these demigods, even he is Indra, he is Chandra, he is Brahma, he is Shiva. What is the result? You see, let us see the contrast from our scriptures. We see Ravana. He was very learned. He was the son of a great sage. And he was the worshipper of Lord Shiva. But what happened? What happened with all the benedictions that he got? He was killed. He was killed by Lord Ram. Whereas we see Vibhishana, he is also born in the same family, in the same lineage, but he was the worshipper of whom did he worship? Lord Ram. And what happened to him? His glory is known in this world much more than Ravana. He has become eternal. And one of the eternal personalities who are still existing, one of them is Vibhishana. You see any character. So whoever, why? Because the demigods, they cannot give any eternal benefit. They can give only temporary benefits. And what are the temporary benefits? Like bubbles on the water. How long it will last? Hardly. But people who are less intelligent, those who are very much, when we will come to the next chapter, Kṛṣṇa will speak and explain that those intelligence are stolen. Kamastesta hita prapadyante anya devata. So when one's intelligence is covered or it is lost by material desires, so they are very much inclined to worship the demigods. And the results of the demigods' benediction is that they glide down again and again into material existence to suffer more. Yeah. Let me first explain the concept. I will take questions. I always take questions. So you write it. If you think that you will forget, write it. Because in Kali Yuga, memory is very short. Where were you yesterday at this time? You will have to dredge your memory. And if I ask you, where were you 1 month before at this time, it will be impossible to speak. So that is it. The reason for that is that in this age, Manda Sumanda Mateo, Manda Bhagya Hipadita. And one cannot know what is his own interest, what is his self-interest. So those who are bewildered by material desires, they are distracted from the path which Kṛṣṇa is giving. And they rush towards the demigods. Why? Because the demigods, they feel, can immediately fulfill their desires. Shipram hi manushe loke siddhi bhavati karmaja. Even the greatest demigods like Brahma and Shiva cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord. In fact, the Lord is worshipped by demigods such as Brahma and Shiva. Shiva Viranchi Nutanam. Yet, curiously enough, there are many human leaders who are worshipped by foolish men. I gave you one example of Hitler. In the communist regime, they were worshipping Lenin, isn't it? And what is the situation today? Whom they were worshipping, now they are abusing. Why? Because they were feeling at that time that he can fulfill their desires. Men, under the misunderstanding of anthropomorphism, you know, this word, anthropomorphism, anyone knows? You have seen some character which is not actually human, but it looks human-like. Huh? A little louder. Do you have the mic? Give it to him. Yeah. It is. It is. It is like, you know, a fiction. Like you see the Walt Disney characters. Yeah, Mickey and what else there? Mickey Mouse, and there are some others also. No? Huh? So what they consider? These are fiction characters, but they consider like human. And they start worshipping also. And second is zoomorphism. That some animals, they are also considered to be God. So that means the intelligence is so much degraded that they cannot discriminate. Neither they can discriminate between God and demigod, and they even come down to the level of humans, and even they go down below the level of human. To worship whom? Those who are subhumans, or even in the animal kingdom. Iha, Devata denotes a powerful man or demigod of this material world. But Narayan, Vishnu or Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not belong to this world. He is above or transcendental to material creation. Even Sripad Shankaracharya, the leader of the impersonalists, maintains that Narayan or Kṛṣṇa is beyond this material creation. So who is the Supreme Lord? If he is like one of us, then what is so special about him? Human means that we have imperfect senses. How our senses are imperfect? We have so much of pride in believing what we see. Don't we say? We believe in what we see. But if the electricity goes off right now, what will happen to the power of our vision? Can we see? No. So it is relative. If the sufficient light is there, then only we can see. And how far can we see? Can we see in the next room what the student is doing? No. So our senses are imperfect. And our senses are prone to make mistakes. So many defects we have. And with all these defects, we claim to be perfect. So, because why? Because we are covered over by the illusionary energy, by Maya Shakti. So that means God means one who is beyond, who is free from all defects. What is the example? Bhagavad Gita. If it would not be free from all defects, after 5,000 years, the verses would not be the same. It would not be discussed. Can you find any textbook which was 500 years back? It is still prevailing in the school or college. What to say of 500 years back? Not even 50 years back. Why? Because there is constant change. What does change mean? Why there is a need to change? Huh? Yeah, it is changing with time. That means it is not perfect. You see, today innovation of pharmaceutical drug is there to cure a disease. You see? Hi, welcome, Dinesh. Dinesh is our professor in IRM. These are IRI students. So a drug is introduced for the purpose of curing a disease. How it is, invented by so much of research. And after few years, the same drug is banned. It happens or not? Why? What it means? What kind of research is this? Perfect? Imperfect. So this is what Prabhupada is emphasizing, that if we try to equate the Supreme with anyone else, then we will be at disadvantage. We will not be able to get the ultimate benefit. However, foolish people, Hritajnana, worship the demigods because they want immediate results. They get the results, but they do not know that the results so obtained are temporary and are meant for less intelligent persons. The intelligent person is in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. 4.12, sir. You're there? And he has no need to worship the paltry demigods for some immediate temporary benefit. So I give this example. If you know the Prime Minister, do you have to approach the minister and give him bribe? Is there any need? If you directly know the Prime Minister, do you have to approach the State Minister, Cabinet Minister, or anyone else, or the bureaucrat? No. Your approach to the Prime Minister will ensure that whatever you deserve, it will be done. So approaching the demigod is like giving them bribe. And you see that is there very, very prevalent in our society. If you want to get any benefit done, what do? You go and bribe the officer. And what he does? He cares a damn. He is more interested in his own result and reward. And he will allot it. So here Prabhupada is saying that only the foolish people worship the demigods. The demigods of this material world, as well as their worshippers, will vanish with the annihilation of this material world. This material world is constantly changing. Creation takes place at a certain interval. There is sustenance and maintenance. And after sustenance and maintenance, there is annihilation. Like you see this body. The body takes birth. It grows. It develops. It stays for some time. It dwindles and it dies. Can anyone stop this phenomena? No. The bones of the demigods are material and temporary. Both the material world and their inhabitants, including the demigods and their worshippers, are bubbles in the cosmic creation. In the world, however, human society is mad after temporary things, such as material opulence of possessing land, family, and enjoyable paraphernalia. Everyone is very much interested in material resource. Why? Because through the material resource, they can enjoy the material body. But what about the endurance of this body? Can this body be endured? Can anyone preserve this body? No, this body is going to perish. To achieve such temporary thing, okay. In this world, however, human society is mad after temporary things such as material opulence of possessing land, family, and enjoyable paraphernalia. To achieve such temporary things, people worship the demigods or powerful men in human society. Many people are worshipping Modi ji also. They have some places they have opened temple also. Isn't it? Why? Because till that time they are receiving their benefits. So they are worshipping. But as soon as their benefit is stopped, what they will start doing? Start accusing. If a man gets some ministership in the government by worshipping a political leader, he considers that he has achieved a great boon. All of them are therefore no-towing to the so-called leaders of big guns. Such foolish men are not interested in Krishna consciousness for the permanent solution to the hardships of material existence. They are all after sense enjoyment, like a child. What is the sense enjoyment compared to? Like a child's play. You see the child? He is playing. What you have? A gun? A big gun. Is he interested in the knowledge? No. But should we all imitate him? Should we also start playing like him? Why? Because he is less intelligent. As one's intelligence grows, he can discriminate and decide what is good for him and what is not so good. What is right for him and what is wrong. What is actually benefit for him and what is not. What is dharma and what is adharma. So human life is meant for following the path of dharma. And why the Supreme Lord comes to establish the dharma. And here he is very much emphasizing that do not worship the demigods for material benefits. Because by worshipping the demigods for material benefits, you will not derive any eternal benefit. It will be only temporary. Like you come here to IARI. Why you come here to IARI? To get a degree, to get an accreditation. Isn't it? And if you come here and the teacher says, if you don't sit in the class, I will give you present. They will not do that in IARI, right? But just by doing that, will you get the degree? What will happen? If you will not attend the class, what will be the ultimate result? You will never be able to get the degree. So you will be bereft of what you had actually come to achieve. You get the point? So similarly, the demigod worshippers, they will be cheated. Why? Because they are worshipping the demigod with the cheating mentality. What is the cheating mentality? You offer the demigod 1 rupee and in return ask him 1 lakh rupee. This is what people are doing. Why do people go for temple worship? How much do they offer? Monday, they will go to Lord Shiva. Tuesday, they will go to Hanumanji. Wednesday, they will go to some other demigod. Every day, they are going somewhere. And why are they going? To receive their desires to be fulfilled. They are all after sense enjoyment. And to get little facility for sense enjoyment, they are attracted to worshipping empowered living entities known as demigods. This verse indicates that people are rarely interested in Krishna consciousness. They are mostly interested in material enjoyment and therefore they worship some powerful living entity. For such people who are so much disoriented or those who are distracted, still Krishna, who is the eternal Father, does not leave them or does not abandon them. He gives another set of principle or set of setup through which they can come to him. And what is that setup? Is the 13th verse. I'll take this verse also. So Krishna has set up a system. The creation is created by the creator. Like I use this machine, I'm giving the example of this machine. So how to use this machine best? How should I be guided? By my friend? Or should I use the manual? Who is issuing the manual? The manufacturer of this machine. If I go by the guidance of this manual, or what do you call? User's instruction, that I can make the best use of this machine. So the one who has created this universe, who has created the human being, he is giving the principle of how to live and how to live. So how the society is organized, Krishna is speaking here in the 13th verse. Chaturvarnya maya srishtam. See the 13th verse. Gunakarma vibhagasha tasya kartaram apimam vidhi kartaram avyayam. Okay, if you have your question, I can still take it now before I go to. Is it answered or still unanswered? Yeah. Yeah. No, see. Parshuram did not worship for any material boon. Did he worship for any material boon? Normally, if you see worshippers of Lord Shiva, why do they approach Lord Shiva? What is the name of Lord Shiva? Also, his name is Ashutosh. He's both. He's Asutosh and he's Ashurosh. He can be quickly satisfied and he could be quickly agitated also. Yeah. This is what Krishna is giving the principle. Try to understand the principle. Why mass of men are approaching the demigods? What is the intent and the desire? Is to receive boons and benedictions and rewards from them. But if all the devotees were practicing Krishna consciousness now, if you see their background, their history, they were not worshippers of Krishna. Who were the worshippers of? Some demigod. And if they were truly worshippers of the demigod without asking for material boons, they have been guided to Krishna. They will be guided. Lord Shiva is a bona fide acharya of Rudra Sampradaya. We have 4 Vaishnava Sampradaya. There are 4 lineages of Krishna consciousness. First is the Brahma Sampradaya. So those who are actually approaching Brahmaji, not for material benefit, Brahmaji will guide them to Krishna. In fact, in my case also, I was worshipper of Hanumanji. And you know how I came to Krishna consciousness? In one of the Hanumanji's bhajan book, there was one shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Sarv dharmani parityaja. And I began searching what this shloka means. And I asked the local Pandit, and he told me this is Gita's verse. So I asked him, what is Gita? So he told me, when you go to railway station, there is a Gita store there, and you can buy a Gita. So all the demigods, the prominent demigods, Brahma, Shiva, was the Rudra Sampradaya, Lakshmi Devi, Shri, and the 4 Kumaras. They are all bona fide acharyas of guiding the spirit soul to take shelter of Krishna. But those who come for material benefits, they do not get guided by them. So this is the difference. Okay. There is one instance, actual instance. Some 500 years back, there was a very great worshipper of Lord Shiva in Varanasi. But he was a pure Brahmana. He said that, my dear Lord Shiva, I have to come to you because I have a daughter. And I want to get my daughter married. And I have no money. So please help me. And Lord Shiva told him to go to Vrindavan. And he said, you go and approach one sadhu there called Sanatan. And he will help you. So this Brahman came to Vrindavan and he inquired, where is Sanatan? So he came to Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami was doing Krishna Bhajan. And he said, Lord Shiva has sent me to you and I have a daughter and I need some money. So Sanatan Goswami had a touchstone. You know what is a touchstone? It has, if you touch the stone to iron, it will convert into gold. So he said, there is a touchstone lying there below my garbage box. So you can pick it up and use it. And when your work is done, you can bring it back. So this Brahmana, he very happily took the touchstone and he was going towards Varanasi. But while he was going towards Varanasi, he was thinking, he was contemplating, because he was a Brahmana. Brahmana means intelligence is there. This is what we will discuss in the next verse. One who can think. So he was thinking that if this is the most valuable thing in the world, why would this Sadhu Sanatan give it to me like this? Huh? Just by once inquiring and asking, he gave it to me. Huh? Off the board, just immediately he gave it to me. So that means this person, this Sadhu Sanatan, must be having something which is more valuable than the touchstone, isn't it? Otherwise, how could he easily give it to me? So he came back and he told Sanatana Goswami that, my dear sir, you have not been fair with me. He said, how? Because you have given this touchstone to me, and I was thinking you are keeping this touchstone below the garbage box. Otherwise, it's the most valuable thing. Where you will keep? In a locker, in a safe, somewhere no one can see, no one can touch. So he said that you have something which is more valuable than this. So Sanatana Goswami said, yes, I have something which is more valuable than this, but I can only give you when you are not interested in this touchstone. So you go and throw this touchstone in the mid of Yamuna. And the Brahmana went and threw the touchstone in the Yamuna. And then he gave him the Harinam, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that was Lord Shiva's real blessing. The Lord Shiva is the Acharya of the Rudra Sampradaya. Pure Vaishnavas come from him. But he will only guide them, those who are coming without this Kangshitam Karmanasi. If you are approaching with Kangshitam, this is what Krishna was speaking in the last verse. Try to relate what Krishna is saying. This is the principle which Krishna is giving. Krishna is revealing our mind. Krishna is revealing the inner, content of our heart. That what we are inclined to do and ask. In this material world, because of ignorance, because of material desires, because of being enamored by the illusionary energy, we are only interested in temporary things. So if we are interested in temporary things, we will receive temporary rewards. We will not receive eternal reward. If somebody is only interested to get the entry here in the IARI, not serious enough to pass the exams, will he be able to get the degree? He won't be able to get it. So we cannot cheat the Supreme Lord. But if our intention is good, if our intention is pure, then he will guide us. How he is guiding? So he is giving this next verse. This is this verse. That Chatur Varnam Maya Sishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha Tasya Kartaram Apimam Vidhi Kartaram Avyayam. According to three modes of material nature and the work associated with them. This is the 13th verse. 4 divisions of human society are created by him. So the Supreme Lord has created the human society in 4 divisions. People have very much, hue and cry and opposition. What we want is a classless society. Communist. They wanted the classless society. What are the classes compared to? The different parts or the limbs of the body. Like we have the upper portion, which is the head. So which class is compared to the head? Head means intelligence. Intelligence means Brahmana. Why intelligence? Because he can receive knowledge from the Vedas. And he can enlighten others. So please remember what Krishna is speaking here. And how he has divided the society, not on birth. Guna, karma, vibhagya. Guna means quality. Brahman means he must be knowing the Vedic knowledge. He must be knowing what is the difference between matter and spirit. And he should be interested in spirit and not engaged in matter. Then he's a Brahmana. Can you find any Brahmana now? Bring me one Brahmana. What are they claiming? Because they have taken birth in a family. Our teacher gives an example. Dinesh ji, son, will you consider him a professor at IARA? Just because he is born in his family. A surgeon, His son says, my father is not well today. He could not come for the surgery. So I am present here to do the surgery. Will you get the surgery done? Huh? So see how much misinterpretation has been done by the society. Kṛṣṇa is clearly saying that the division is on the basis of guna. Guna means the quality. So depending on the quality of karma, karma means actions, the society is divided. Like all part of the body are the same. Can they perform the same function? If you have to eat, you have to put the food in the mouth. Can you put it in the eyes or in the ears or in the nose? No. All the parts of the body cooperate to earn food. But where it has to go? It has to go to the stomach. And from stomach, the energy goes to every part of the body. So there are divisions in the body. The legs are used for moving or running or walking. The hands are used for working. The eyes are used for seeing. So every part has different function. Can one function of the part be done by the other? No. Similarly, the society is classified into 4 divisions. What are the divisions? Brahmana, which is compared to the head or intelligence. Then Kshatriya, which is compared to the arms. Why? Because Kshatriya means administration, protection. Then Vaishya. Vaishya is compared to the stomach. If you do not produce, if you do not feed, what the head will do or what the hands can do. And the Shudra is compared to the legs. So for a body to function, you need the cooperation of entire organs. Otherwise, can you survive? You cannot survive. So it is foolish to say to receive a classless society. It is like saying that you have a body which has only one organ. Will it work? It will never work. So let us see this verse more deeply. The Lord is the creator of everything. Everything is born of him. Everything is sustained by him. And everything after annihilation rests in him. He is the creator. He is the maintainer. And he is also the annihilator. G-O-D. Generator, operator, destructor. In a sense, all powers are with him. Brahma creates, but on behalf of Kṛṣṇa. Like the state minister or the cabinet minister works, but on behalf of the prime minister. And Vishnu maintains, but on behalf of Kṛṣṇa. And Shiva, he annihilates, Lord Shiva, but on behalf of the Supreme Lord. He is therefore the creator of 4 divisions of the social order. So there are 4 divisions of the social order. This is very scientific. Not anyone and everyone can be same. Even in IARI, how many branches you have? How many branches you have? More than 20. 39? 29. Why there is a need of so many branches? So many divisions? There should be only one branch. Will it work? Will everyone be able to take the same branch? No. Why? Because every individual is different. So similarly here, the social order is created with 4 divisions, beginning with the intelligent class of men, which is the Brahmana. Technically called Brahmana due to their being situated in the mode of goodness. So Brahmana also means that he is in the mode of goodness. There are 3 modes. Have you heard about the 3 modes? Maybe not. Those who have come, most of you have come for the first time. Most of you. So there are 3 modes. Like there are 3 base colors. With the 3 base colors, how many colors can be? Combination of colors can come unlimited. What are the 3 base colors? Blue, red, and yellow. With these three colors, you can get any colors, millions of colors. Similarly, there are three modes in this material nature. The mode of goodness. Mode of goodness means a person is very much in peace. You meet different people, you find different temperaments, isn't it? What is the reason? The reason is the influence of modes. So Brahmana means he is in the highest mode of goodness. And the next is the administrative class, technically called the Kshatriyas, due to their being situated in the mode of passion. The mercantile men, called the Vaishyas, are situated in the mixed mode of passion and ignorance. So everyone has a different function. And as hands cannot perform the function of the leg, eyes cannot perform the function of the nose or ears. So everyone has a specific function. And on the cooperation of all of their activities, the society runs. The Kshatriya cannot do farming. Can he do farming? No. And the Shudras or laborer class are situated in the ignorant mode of material nature. In spite of his creating the four divisions of human society, Lord Kṛṣṇa does not belong to any of the divisions. Like the king. The king creates the law. But is the same law governing the king? No. This law is for whom? Those who are within the modes. Those who are conditioned by the material nature. But Kṛṣṇa is transcendental. He is beyond. So he does not belong to any of these four orders. He has created the order. Another example to how to understand this. Like you go to a prison house. In prison house, there are levels of prisoners. Core criminal, there will be some very different rules and regulations for him. There are grades of prisoners. But all those grades of prisoners is the grade applicable to the prison in charge also. Jailer. Although he is also there in the jail. But is the rule and regulation of the prisoners applicable to the prison in charge? No. The rules and regulations which are applicable to the students in IARI, is it applicable to Dinesh sir? No. He is above that. Understand? So the creator is above the creation. The Lord Kṛṣṇa does not belong to any of these divisions because he is not one of the conditioned soul, a section of whom form human society. Human society is similar to any other animal society. Why? Why Prabhupada gives this very strong statement, which we may not like, we may dislike. Why is he comparing us to animal society? Because four things are common. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. In any and every species of life, one activity is compulsory. What is that? Eating. Can anyone survive without eating? And why we are working? To meet this desire and demand of eating. As we economically excel or progress, what we improve? We improve our standard of eating. Then sleeping. Every species requires sleep. So what is the human race doing? They are enhancing the standard of sleep. They have big apartments, palatial house, big king size bed. You go to the furniture shop, they'll tell you a price of the bed. It is lakhs of rupees. Why it is lakhs of rupees? But it is king size. Even if you go to the hotels, they will write queen size bed, king size bed. Why? Just to improve the sleeping standard. Why sleeping? To have sex, mating. Every species is engaged in this activity. And in every species of life, one is trying to preserve his body. Anyone wants to die? So it is defense mechanism. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Dharmo hi tesho adhiko vishesho. Dharma vihina pashu bhi samana. Ahar, nidra, bhay, maithun bhi samana. So if the human race is engaged in these four activities, is he human? No. He is no better than animal. So Prabhupada is mentioning here that human society is similar. He is not saying he is the same. They are similar. Similar in terms of their attributes. But to elevate men from animal society, the above mentioned divisions are created by the Lord for the systematic development of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. So this system of four divisions of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, they are created for systematic development. Because in each division, in each social order, the center or the aim or the purpose is to worship the Supreme Lord. It will come. It will become more clear. So the above mentioned divisions are created by the Lord for the systematic development of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. The tendency of a particular man toward work is determined by the mode of material nature which he has acquired. Such symptoms of life. So if one who is in the mode of ignorance, if you ask him to study, like if you catch some laborer from the colony, Juggi Jhopdi, and put him in the class. Say, we want a classless society. No one is laborer, no one is Brahman. If you even give him admission in IRI, will he be able to pass? What is the possibility? Will he be able to attend the classes and receive knowledge? No, not possible for him. So a person in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, however, is above the Brahmana. Okay. The tendency of a particular man towards the work is determined by the mode of material nature he is acquired. Such symptoms of life, according to the 10th chapter of this book. A person in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, however, is above the Brahmana. Although Brahmana by quality are supposed to know about Brahman, the supreme absolute truth, most of them approach only impersonal Brahman manifestation of Lord Kṛṣṇa. But a man who transcends the limited knowledge of Brahmana and reaches the knowledge of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Kṛṣṇa becomes a person in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, or in other words, Vaishnava. So the human society is classified in four social orders. But beyond this four social order is the order of a Vaishnava. Vaishnava means one who knows the Supreme Lord. He is even above Brahman. Kṛṣṇa consciousness includes knowledge of all different plenary expansions of Kṛṣṇa, namely Rama, Narsimha, Vara, etc. And as Kṛṣṇa is transcendental to this system of four divisions of human society, a person in Kṛṣṇa consciousness is also transcendental to all divisions of human society, whether we consider divisions of community, nation, or species. So one who worships Kṛṣṇa, one who worships the Supreme Lord, without material desire, what is the benediction that he gets from the Supreme Lord? That he can also become transcendental. He can surpass the influence of the three modes. So that is the special prerogative, which by worship of any demigod, which is called liberation. You understand liberation? Liberation cannot be given by any demigod. Liberation can only be granted by the Supreme Lord. So that is the purpose of coming in Varnashram. But in today's society, there is no Varnashram. There is no classification on the basis of quality or qualification and worth. So a misuse was used. The Brahmana class, they misused the principle by acclaiming birthright, which is not mentioned or recommended here. So what it led? It led to the degradation of the Brahmins. Actually, our society is devoid of Brahmins. So the society is suffering. If the body is without head, what will happen to this body? Who will give direction? Who will give guidance? So Kṛṣṇa has made a perfect arrangement of this system. So far in these two verses we discussed that why people distract and deviate or degrade because of their unlimited material desires. Material desires will lead them for further suffering. Like a child who is immature. He thinks that if he is allowed to play, he can be happy. But if the parents allow him to play, will he be actually happy? He will be suffering forever. So similarly here, Supreme Lord is warning us through the teachings of Bhagavad Gita that do not be guided by your material desires. Do not be enamored by temporary gains. And Kṛṣṇa says, follow the system of Varnashram so that you can systematically rise and come to me. Okay, so I'll stop here. It is a couple of minutes to 9. If there is any question, any doubt, any clarification, please ask me. Yes. The Supreme Lord is only one. And Brahmaji gives the conclusion. He says, Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakaran Karan. So how the creation begins, that in the creation there is only one creator, that is the Supreme Lord, and that is Lord Kṛṣṇa. He says, Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa. And he is Anadir. Anadir means he is from the beginning. And he is Sarv Karan Karan. So when Kṛṣṇa expands, his first expansion is Balaram. And from Balaram comes the quadruple. Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. And from Sankarshan there is another expansion. And from there comes Mahavishnu. What is the function of Mahavishnu? Every avatar, the form has a function. Mahavishnu is for material creation. Srishti Hetu, Vishnu. And Vishnu also expands. From Lord Vishnu's pores comes the planets. So many planets. One exhalation, so many planets come out. And one inhalation, all the planets gets annihilated. And Vishnu expands as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. He enters into each planet. It is very systematically given in the Shastras. So yes, all the avatars, they come from Shirodakshai Vishnu, who is expanded in heart of everyone. Like the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister power is working in IRI, yes or no? How? Through the administrative. But is it directly here? No. He has the agency of various ministries. Like you have Agriculture Ministry. And in that Agriculture Ministry, you have ICAR. And under ICAR, you have IARA. And there are administrative, what is called DG? He is the one who governs ICR. And IRI, so IR you will be having the director. He is reporting to whom? to the DG. DG is reporting to whom? Cabinet Secretary, not Minister. Cabinet Secretary. Cabinet Secretary is reporting to whom? Minister or Principal Secretary. Whatever is given. And where is the Minister reporting to? Prime Minister. Get the point? So there are many, many levels and expansions. So all the avatars in this material world, if they have to descend, they come from Kshirodakshai Vishnu. But the source of Kshirodakshai Vishnu is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And the source of Garbhodakshai Vishnu is Mahavishnu. And the source of Mahavishnu is Sankarshana. And the source of Sankarshana is Balram. And the source of Balram is Krishna. That is why Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarvakaran Karan. He is the cause of all causes. When we will come to the 7th chapter, Krishna will speak. That is why in the previous verse we saw, Krishna said, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam. Both my birth and my activities are all transcendental. Not easy. It is very confidential. It is very mystical. Okay. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Any doubt? Puchiye. Please don't hesitate. If you have any doubt, any question, any argument, you can ask. Well, you have. Okay. Give it to him.
Prabhuji, you told that Bhagavad Gita is spoken 5,000 years ago. There is no change in the message of Bhagavad Gita. But you told that other things like Ashko, they keep on changing. So it means that because of changes in the circumstances in our society, suppose there is climate change. So purpose of climate is very introduced Ashko.
The climate is changing only now. Was it not changing 100 years back? Or 500 years back? Or 5,000 years back? Everything in this world is in order, in cycle. The perfect cycle. Try to understand. There is a difference between man-made and the supreme made. Man-made is full of defects. That is why it warrants change. And anything which comes from the Supreme is perfect. So from where we should receive knowledge? From imperfect source or from perfect source? From perfect source. So Bhagavad Gita is the perfect source to receive knowledge. Yes, Demigods, what is your question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanupana.
Okay. Sure.
My question is...
There are many students here, so they will hear your question.
My question is about the demigods. As in one sentence, it was mentioned that demigods are living entities. So, how demigods are actually created, and what happens to them later on? Do they die? And how they are assigned their duties?
Okay, very good question. She is inquiring about the details of the demigods. She picked up the point that the demigods are the living entities. Yes, they are the living entities, but they are living entities with more pious credits. Like you see, who is the minister? You are in Bhubaneswar. You have a chief minister. Who is the chief minister these days in Biju Patnaik's son?
Naveen Patnaik.
Naveen Patnaik. Naveen Patnaik is like you and me or not? Tell me, I am asking you.
Yes.
Yeah. But he has a special position because he has the popular support of the citizens. And how is he elected? Through the vote. But the demigods are those who have performed pious work. And where they reside? In the heavenly planets. So, Urdham Gacchati Satvasta. If you remain in goodness, if you perform action in goodness, so after death, what will be your destination? You can go to the heavenly planets. And you can become one of the demigods. But what is the result of the demigod? Shine punne murtalokam vishanti. As soon as the pious credits are over, you will be again thrown back to the earthly planet. So is your chief minister not taking birth like we are taking birth? It's the same. And how he leaves the body? It is also the same. You got it?
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, give the mic to him. Remain seated, relax. What's your name? Swadhin. Okay, sir. Yes, remain seated. I can hear you. Yeah. Yeah, please, please. No, there is no hesitation. Feel free. I won't feel offended. You can ask whatever. No, that is wrong. No. That is what I gave the example. No? If that old lady in village, she comes to the constable and says, "You are captain." So by her saying that the constable is captain, that the constable become captain? No. No. I am not a demigod. Demigods are on the higher planets. They have more pious currents. But the problem with the demigods are that they are still entangled in material desires. They are still entangled in material. Whenever they have any hardships, they go and approach Lord Vishnu. But why they go and approach Lord Vishnu? To remove their hardships so they can continue to enjoy. So they are stuck there. But a devotee is even higher than the demigod. If he is a true devotee, he is more dear to the Lord than the demigods. Like I'll give you an example. If the Prime Minister has a son, is the son more dear or the minister more dear? Who is more dear? Son is more dear. Provided he is a son. He cannot fake it. Brahmana means the intelligent class, the class with the head. That means they can know what is the purpose of human life. And they are applying the purpose of human life in their life, and they are educating, enlightening, and enlivening others. Do you find such people here? Very less. Very less. Brahmana means you give me dakshina. Is that a Brahmana's job? No. Brahmana's job is to give knowledge. You understand? So Krishna has given the social order. Like I gave you the example of human body. It has different limbs, and different limbs perform different function. No one limb can perform the function of the other limb. So similarly, this society is classified by division of the social order because they are having the different qualities. And according to qualities, they have activities. Like I gave you the example of so many branches. Why do you need so many branches? The one branch will be sufficient. Why? Because people are different. They are not the same. So there cannot be classless society. It is foolish. But the gradation of the class has to be according to their work and to their quality. If the son of a surgeon is a qualified MS, then only he can become a surgeon. Just being born in a doctor family, he cannot go to the operation theater and say, "No, I know. I have learned it from my father. I have learned it from the womb of my mother." Who will give him the chance to operate? No one. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. And I hope, okay, you have a question? Yes, sir. Okay. Now, if you have, ask. No, leave it. If he does not want to ask, don't insist. You have a question? Okay, give it to her. Yes.
And today in this class, we will know that Supreme Lord is our Krishna. So, in particular, we cannot be worried about material desires, and it is not good to ask to
Very good question. He's saying that when I come to know that the demigods, they can only give material desire. And all of a sudden, we cannot be free from material desire. So what we should do? So Krishna invites everyone. When we come to the 7th chapter, Krishna will says, there are 4 kind of people approach me. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana supritino arjuna artho jigyasu artharthi. Artharthi is what? Those who are desiring material goods. They are also welcome. If the son comes to the father asking for money, he will get money, but the father will ask, why does he require money? So the Supreme Lord will purify him. His desire will be fulfilled, but the Supreme Lord will purify him. And it will take time. If the son is asking for something which will injure him or damage him, the father will not give it. So Krishna says, Akamo sarva kamo va moksha kama udaridi. Akamo sarva kamo va. Even if you have no desires, that means you are pure. Or if you are filled with desire, material desires. Akamo sarva kamo va. Or even if you have desire for liberation, moksha kama. But all these people are udara. Why they are liberal? Because they are approaching the Supreme Lord. They are not approaching the demigods. So they are welcome. If you are in need of any help, if you approach your father is pleased. And if you neglect your father and you go to your neighbor, is the father happy? He will never be happy. Okay. So Lord Krishna, he purifies. Dhruv Maharaj, so many examples are there. Even devotees, they regret later that why did I ask for material desire? Because by asking for material desire, they themselves are kicking the mercy what they were to receive. So why they will trade off for broken glass when they were to get diamonds? Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. And I hope you will continue to come. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. All the best. And we have prasadam, offered food for all of you. So please join us. Hare Krishna. And next Saturday we will continue further. Initially, it might sound something, bizarre or something, very, very difficult. But I can assure you it is natural. If you come to few classes, you will get the foundation of it.